Hi everyone. Yep, we've got another telephone. There's a surprise. Anyhow, as I say, I should really be outside having a look in the greenhouse. The sun's shining, it's quite a nice start. But I thought we'd have a little talk about this one. I found this one upstairs in the collection. Don't know where it came from. I was quite amazed though with this one. This is a genuine 706, not one that was supplied for the private work. This was what would have been supplied to a subscriber or a customer, as I believe they call them now. Anyhow, this one I think is a little bit historical. As I say, don't really know what I've got and what I haven't got. And as I say, I don't know where this one came from. I've obviously had it a long time when collecting was in its infancy and you could pick such items up mainly from boot sales. This was before eBay was even heard of. You'd probably pick it up for a couple of quid or even less than that. But this is where I think it came from. It possibly came from the boot sale at Wimbledon, which was my favourite one. Unfortunately, no longer there. I think they built flats in the area. But not to worry. Let's have a little talk about this. Very interesting, as I say. Didn't really realise till I took a closer look. The date underneath, which I will turn over and show you what date it is. Got to do this gently. Got the dial out and the regulators out. Don't they do any damage? The dial's dropped down. There is the model number 706L. PL, which stood for Plessey. The date 1960, second month. So it's an early one. As you see, it's got the GPO stamp on it. Nothing else on it. It's, you know, it's in good condition. Now look at the little rubber feet. They're the type with a dome, which it would indicate that was the early form. They're all there, and they've got domed feet. So we know it's 706L. I think the L means letters. The number also after it is stroke 2, and that refers to the fact that it's, I think they call it a Mark II, which is the one with the metal base. And turn it back over, it has the printed circuit board. These were, as I say, at that time in their infancy. Once again, well made, wired up correctly as far as I can see. I haven't worried too much about that. I thought, well, let's talk about the actual telephone and all the interesting bits associated with it. Place the dial back here. Now, when these phones first came out, late 50s, as I said the other day, had only just started work for the GPO, and these phones were a novelty. They were new. People were grabbing them. Some people even begging engineers who come round to the house to remove their old-fashioned looking candlesticks, little did they know, and they had them replaced for one of these. And I remember a story said, oh, how lucky I was. I picked up one of these new, and I got rid of that old candlestick version. Short-sighted, because candlesticks can command quite a bit of money now. There's also lots of fakes about. So, you know, you get a genuine old GPO candlestick with the original microphone or transmitter, which I think they call it a hardback. It's not the one with the inserts in it. They're even earlier still, and they're valuable. So if you ever find one of those, pick it up. Anyway, I'm getting back to this 706. Also, and I did mention this yesterday, talking about that the clone. Here we have the regulator. Once again, PL on it, which stands for Plessey. There's the little bottle. It's actually a Beretta or a ballast. Consists of one filament centre tapped. So you've got 3 wires coming out at the back, the base. So filament centre tapped. Possibly the air inside it is hydrogen. I know Berettas did use hydrogen. Don't worry, they won't explode the first time it comes on because there's no oxygen there. And as I said, this type was when the glass was clear. Also you can see 60 on it, which donates or indicates what year it was. And this was before people thought the phones were on fire and they covered them in plastic or a coating. So there we are. Next to it you've got your rectifier stack and 2 resistors. Turn him over, did mention this yesterday as well. You got the name PL again for Plessey. The blanked off side, which just shorts it out, or the plug-in side, which brings the whole regulator to play. So there's the regulator. It obviously slots into those little contacts there, A to E. Excuse the dust. It's antique dust, so don't worry. Also, I'd show the cord. The cord is the old style. When I say old style, it's got a modern plug on it, but it's a very wide cord, which is of, I say, the old style. The cord going to the handset, unfortunately, is damaged. I think it's still got continuity, but it's obviously been nipped somewhere. The original cords on these would have possibly been what they call a grebe cord, which is a, how can I explain it? It's not a curly cord. It's like, can't really explain it. It's called grebe. They were grey in colour. They look like a sort of a, I can't put it in better words than that, but it was not a curly cord, it was a straight cord, grebe. I've never seen one since on eBay or at boot sales or anything like that, so they were obviously only about for a short time. Having a look at the handset, I took the two inserts out. Here we've got the rocking armature type earpiece, which this is dated as well, C60. Now, C was not Plessey, it was actually GEC, but the year ties up to the 60s, so this was obviously bought in by Plessey, I would say. All the companies were very closely working together, so there was a lot of sort of help and cooperation between them. Now looking also, we got the old top hat again. These transmitters go back quite a few years. They're obviously not used now, but these would be found in candlesticks, the types that have these as an insert, as apart from I think the hard back, I think they called them, or the 332, and they went into the first 706 telephones. These have been superseded by a more modern type and the electronic type, which is like a red, it's coloured red. I think it's red. I don't know, it's green, but I've seen red ones. But there we are, that's the transmitter. The handset in excellent condition, which brings me on to a question I asked in the last thing, and I have found an answer looking through the through Google. There's the case. I know it's a bit dusty. I'll have to get the old duster out and give it a little bit of a dust. It's genuine dust, antique dust. What we have now, this phone was made in the 60s. Well, Diakon, which I mentioned yesterday, is a type of perspex. It was manufactured by ICI, Imperial Chemical Industries. The company no longer exists now. Great pity, but there we are. I think one of the companies probably sold off in Thatcher years. I don't know, but anyhow, the company doesn't exist now. And that was, I say, from 1959. The cases were made of this Diakon up to 62, and I'm just reading that off my little notes. Then the plastics became ABS, and the reason being this Diakon was quite brittle. Fortunately, this is in good shape. It makes me think the phone I showed yesterday was probably made of the same material. You don't seem to get any darkening or any colour changes with age, but what you do have is that it's a thicker material. There's the edge, so it's definitely thicker, and also is brittle. So whatever you do, don't drop these or knock them, because they presumably will smash into hundreds of pieces. Well, there's the Diakon. I've noticed a little ring there. I think when I got this phone, there was a little holder for a pen or something which stuck on the side, and that ring is still there. I haven't bothered about taking it off. It's all part of the age pattern, if you like. And the ring also, with the letters and numbers on, appear to be glued to the inside of the case. It also looks like this case is not turn-uppable to convert it into a wall phone. So this was obviously before they brought that little modification out. Anyway, as you probably know by now, I do like talking a lot. Oh, let me just show you the dial. The dial is numbers only. Possibly the original number that is in there, Addiscombe. Funny enough, Addiscombe is the exchange where I did a little bit of time in. Very, went on in there on loan, Addiscombe exchange. Quite a small exchange, but nice. Anyhow, there's the number there, Adderscombe. That number probably doesn't exist. Well, it probably exists, but it's also got 325. So this was out of the director system outside of London, so that probably was that full number. Then there's the dial, there's the finger stop, and once again looking at the side of it, it's got two, I can show you, two little stops inside. The old ones had that, so this is an old dial. And looking even closer at the dial, it doesn't say who made it, but you've got numbers there. Two sets of numbers. See if I can focus it a bit better. There's one set of numbers there. That looks like 57/2, in which case that would be 57, which was about the year I left school. And it's got a new number on there, which has obviously been put later. Number 12, which I believe is the dial number, February FBR. And that looks like it's 59/2, second month, February again. So the dial is obviously older than the telephone. And I would say it's all pretty genuine. There's your better standard bell, and also there's another date in there. That says 59, so the bell is dated 59. Also PL Plessey. So I'd say this phone is genuine and hasn't been messed about with. I think the cords were the ones that were fitted to it. If anyone else got any ideas about this or any comments, please make. What I do like, the clamp for the wires going in are actually riveted to the base, so that's not going to float about as they often did on the plastic base phones, which were the hard-wired version. Anything else I can say? I don't think so. All the normal components are there, what you'd see. The anti-side tone induction coil, your capacitor, obviously the bells. The bells are in two tones then. They're not the same bell. They're two different to give a different pitch or sound. And I think, I can honestly say that is it. Once again, thanks for watching. I may even have a chance to get down to the greenhouse, but I thought I'd put this one up. This being a genuine 706. I think they call it a Mark II because it's got the metal base. If I've said anything wrong, get back to me. You never know, I might have done it on purpose. Never know. Anyhow, thanks again for watching. We will certainly pop this one up on YouTube, which, as I say, since joining Virgin, the YouTubes have been uploaded very, very fast. I was quite amazed. But there we go. Modern things. Anyhow, I'm going to shut up now and reassemble this phone. The main thing is that it's one of the first 706s, so historically it is quite interesting and shows what can turn up, but I think this turned up many years ago. Anyhow, thanks again for watching. Thank you.